long division. But before I even do the polynomial division, I want to do regular long division. I want you to write this problem down, please. And it was actually, in our case, it was 26. Bless you. So 326 divided by 5. Okay. I told the other class, bless you, that I think it was last year. I'm sorry, my memory is fading here. But last year I was tutoring, I think he was a 4th grader, and he had log division, and they had it for the first time. So 4th graders are like, this is new to us. And they were having to remember, all right, I got to do this, then this, then this, and that. And they had a little acronym that I don't remember, but I do remember the letters that represent that acronym. D, N, S, B. That's going to be important for long division for 4th graders. And it's also going to be important for long division for 8th graders today. Let's go through it. First step, let's just go through long division. I'll show you how these come up. Your first step is to divide. Does 5 go into 3? Does 5 go into 32?
Yes.
How many times?
6.
6 times. That's D. You just divided. Yeah, what does M stand for? Multiply. What's 6 times 5? 30. You just multiplied. And I'll just put here multiply. But you just multiplied. Next step? Subtract. You're going to do 32 minus 30, which gives you 2. And then you're going to bring down the 6. Bring down. You got your 26 here. And then you're going to do the process all over again. As much as you can, as many times as you need to. In this case, what's 26 divided by 5? 5. Then you're going to multiply. 5 times 5? 25. Then you're going to subtract. 26 minus 25? 1. Then you're going to bring down. There's nothing to bring down. And I don't want decimal answers. I want a fractional part. So this is what you're going to do. I know it's tough. What's the number as a remainder? 1. What's the denominator? 5. That's your answer. You can do 65.2, but the polynomial division, we don't have decimals because I don't know what the variables stand for. So you're going to leave it as fractional form. Man.
I'm used to doing that short division.
Yeah. Short division is good, by the way. I like it. But do you remember long division? Okay, great. I'm going to remind you again.
We did it last year.
Yeah, short division is really nice. I wish I could go through it, but that's something that should have been taught like, I don't know. I'm not going to say. It should have been taught earlier, not 7th and 8th grade, but I did go over it. Sorry. Okay, anyway. We're going to do the same process. What's my first step? D for? Divide. 52 divided by 8? 6. 6 times 8, which is second step, multiply, 48. Third step is to subtract, 52 minus 48, 4. Fourth step is to bring down that 7, 47. I did the last step, now I go all the way back to divide. So 47 divided by 8, 5. 5 times 8, which is the multiply step, 40. Subtract, 7. Bring down, nothing to bring down. I have a remainder. How do I want it written? Good. 65 and 7/8.
What if the remainder can be like subtracted with subtraction? Or do we need to name it like, what if it's like 4/8? Would you simplify it to 1/2?
Yeah, you can. Thankfully, polynomial long division in that sense is easier because it's almost always going to be simplified when you get to this last step, which is nice. No, there are fractions. They're going to look like this.
You said.
But, sorry, she said, like, if they're 4/8, can you make it 1/2? Yes. And these problems, yes. But those problems you don't have to because they're already there.
It was like the same thing, basically.
Same thing. And listen, if I had more time, I would explain that it is exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. But you're like, polynomials? What do polynomials have those numbers in?
Variables.
Oops.
Exponents.
Exponents.
Negative
Powers.
plus and minus signs, those are not the same as that. They are. In fact, I remember when I taught 7th grade from a different curriculum that all numbers can be broken up into addition problems. And you know this. 300 plus 20 plus 6. There's your plus signs. And based on their place value, you have a power of 2, a power of 1, a power of 0. And that I don't have time to explain, but they're there. It's the same thing, which is really cool because that means this is not new. All right, so this is our title. And let's get to our first problem. Write this problem down, please. Write it just the way it's written. I'm excited. I'm telling you, my first time I was teaching it, going through it, and the kids are they're like rebelling. Wait, Mr. A, what's that? Wait, you said this and now you got that. Wait, how'd you get that number? I'm like, oh my goodness, they're ready to take me out. I got a little bit of that in that class, but it calmed down pretty quick. So I'm not threatened for my life here. Yes, sir.
Are the problems getting harder and harder as we go on?
Yeah. And honestly, this is the last lesson of the chapter. This combines all the parts together. All of them. All of them are in this one problem. And some of you see it, some of you might not. But this, okay, I'll point some things out. Okay, ready? It's a trinomial divided by a binomial. What was last lesson about? Dividing by monomial. So this second number was always a monomial. Now what is it? Binomial. It's different. But I'm going to do long division. All you need to tell me which number goes in the box. Okay. Tell me exactly which number goes in the box no matter what. The first number goes in the box. So put that in there. X squared plus 2x minus 9. The first number is called the dividend, and the dividend always goes in the box, no matter what. But Mr. A, what if that were... Okay, it's not going to happen. What if that were a trinomial and that's a binomial? The binomial would go in there. Thankfully, you're not going to get that. Yeah, you won't get that. Asterisk. Save for later. Okay. What number goes outside? What's the other one? X plus 3. If you can write that out, you're on a good path. Do you notice both numbers, x plus 3 and x squared plus 2x minus 9, are both written in what form? Standard form. That's important because if you don't write in standard form, it's like saying instead of 300 plus 20 plus 6, 6 plus 300 plus 20. You just got to rearrange it so that now you could do this whole long division. So you would have to rearrange it if possible. It's going to happen. Okay. This first time doing it, just watch me. Ask me a few questions, but don't bog me down because then we'll never get through the process. And you might not understand it completely the first time, but let's do it. What's my first step? Divide. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first term in the dividend and divide it by the first term in the binomial. What's x squared divided by x? X. That's lesson 7-7. And I'm going to put it right above the 2x. Why would I do that? Like terms. It's just like terms. No revolt? Yeah, good. All right. We just divided. What's the next step? You're going to multiply this number by the binomial. What's x times x? X squared. What's x times 3? Positive 3x. Why did I put the x squared here and why did I put the 3x there? Like terms. We like terms. That's lesson 7-1. And multiplying was lesson 7-3. So you see how we're pulling those lessons out? We're not even done. Okay. What's my next step after multiplying? Subtract. Just be very careful. You're going to take these two binomials and subtract them together. Lesson 7-2. What's x squared minus x squared? They canceled each other out. They get dropped out, which is nice. And that always happens if you do it right. What's 2x minus 3x? Negative 1x. We just subtracted. Last step? Bring down. What do you think I should bring down? Negative 9. And you don't have to draw that arrow. I did it to just show you it's bringing down. I just brought down. Now where do I go? What step do I go to? Come back to the beginning. Divide. What's negative 1x divided by x?
Negative x.
I think it's 2x.
Negative 1x divided by x.
Oh, negative 1.
Negative 1. Right? Isn't negative 1x divided by x? What happens to the x's? They get crossed out because it's just 1. And negative 1 times 1, negative 1.
If that 9 was like in front of the problem, would you put the 1 in front of the...
Like if this were at the beginning, this is all messed up. So you had to write it in standard form so that it always works out. And it works out this way, which is nice. Okay, sorry, we did the divide. So what's next? Multiply. What's negative 1 times x? Negative 1x. What's negative 1 times positive 3? Negative 3. That was the multiply step. What do I do next? Subtract. And I'm telling you, subtract, you got to be careful. You're going to have to subtract these two, and you got to make sure the signs are correct. What's negative 1x minus negative 1x?
Plus.
Yeah, it'd be negative 1x plus 1x. Cancel. And remember, when you cancel, you did something right. What's negative 9 minus negative 3? Or negative 9 plus 3? Negative 6. You just subtracted. Next step, bring down. Is there anything to bring down? No. You have a remainder. And your remainder is going to be written the same way these were. Ready? Negative 6 over... That's the answer.
Wasn't it simpler to do like the other?
That was.
Sorry, the what?
Isn't it so much like simpler, easier to do like the way that we had learned before?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Where we had a monomial and you divided each one by that monomial?
Or not, yeah.
Okay, but now you'd have to divide each one by a binomial?
I mean, it's not like necessarily like the monomial part. It's just like what's the other way easier than that?
Okay, what would happen is you do x squared divided by x plus 3. That right there is going to be a multi-step common denominator of binomials. We're doing that at the end of Algebra 1. So you could do it, but no, it's hard. And then you had to do here, then you had to do there, and then you're going to get this, but you're going to have this long string of complicated fractions. Yep.
So when you divide, you only divide by the first?
Yes, you divide the first term by the first term. Or, right here, the first term by the first term. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, good question. All right, that's the first time. Let's do it again. Write this problem down. I need you to tell me which number goes in the box. Yep, if you can do that, you're at least setting it up well. But Mr. A, what if the first number was smaller than the second number? It doesn't matter. You must put the first number in the box. And trust me, it's not going to happen that way. So be thankful for that, because that gets complicated. All right, you wrote it down right? Okay, everybody, what's the first step? Divide. You're going to divide the first term in the trinomial by the first term in the binomial. What's 4x squared divided by x? 4x squared divided by x. 4x. I wrote it up here because like terms. And like terms and place value, kind of like you did here. You see how we don't write that 6 above the 3. We write it above the 2 because 5 went not into 3 but into 32. Place value means something. Like terms means something. So be careful with that. Okay. Second step, multiply. What's 4x times x? 4x to the second. Good. What's 4x times negative 2? 4x times negative 2?
8x.
Negative 8x. Signs matter?
Yes.
A lot. And it may not, you could, the problem might look like it's working out, but you get the wrong answer because their sign was off. All right. Third step. Subtract. What's 4x squared minus 4x squared? Canceled out. What's 3x minus negative 8x?
11.
11x. Because you did 3 plus 8. So that's 11x. Fourth step,
Bring down.
bring down the negative 6. You're done with the fourth step. So now go back to first step, which is divide. 11x divided by x.
11.
Positive 11. Second step, multiply. 11 times x is 11 times negative 22. Oh, sorry. 11 times negative 2? Negative 22. Wow. Mr. A's mind is starting to slip a little bit. And then I'm going to subtract third step. What's 11x minus 11x? 11. Sorry. They canceled out. Sorry. We both messed up on that. Let's do that. All right. What's negative 6 minus negative 22? Positive 16. Is there anything to bring down? What's my remainder? Positive 16 over x minus 2. That's your answer. How's it look, guys? How many of you are kind of like, I follow you. I follow you, Mr. A. Doesn't mean you should let go, but I'm following you. Okay. Let's do, hold on, let me see something real quick. Okay, let's do this last one together. Then I'm going to have you do one on your own. I know. Gonna push you on that bike and hope you can pedal.
If we fall into
Oh.
a tree.
Good thing you're wearing a helmet. Good thing that was a young tree.
He dislocated his kneecap.
We have great insurance. Okay, I set it up for you. This time we have a y. Did I write this in standard form in the dividend?
Yes.
Did I write it in standard form in the divisor? That's important. You don't write it in the right format, this algorithm, this way of doing something, doesn't work very well. Okay, divide. What's 3y squared divided by y? 3y. Multiply. Second step. What's 3y times y? 3y to the second. What's 3y times negative 4? Negative 12y. That's their multiplication step. What's your third step? Subtract. I'm going to subtract these two, being very careful. What's 3y squared minus 3y squared? What's negative 4y minus negative 12y?
8y.
Positive 8y. Fourth step. Bring down. I'm going to bring down that negative 15. Does anyone see the parallel between this and that? Do you guys see that? I think that's really cool because I told that fourth grader when I was tutoring him, hey, you know what? You're going to do this in 8th grade.
Well, now
You do it in 9th grade. And he's like, yeah, you're going to do the same thing. It's going to look a little harder. But how many of you are starting to see they are the same? Okay. And then you'll get better at it as you practice. All right, I did my bring down, so now what do? Go back to dividing. What do I divide?
Y.
What do I divide? You got to say it right.
8y.
8y by y. 8y by y is 8. My next step is multiply. What do I multiply?
8 by y.
8 by y. 8y. And then 8
Negative 4.
by negative 4 gives me. What do I do with those two? Third step, subtract. What's 8y minus 8y?
Cancels out.
What's negative 15 minus negative 32? Positive 17. Anything to bring down? Nope. So we have a remainder. What's the remainder? Plus 17 over y minus 4. That's your answer. Who feels like I think I can do this on my own. Whether or not you feel it, do it.
I can do it, I just get confused.
That's okay. Try it out. Try it out on your own, see what you get. So the problem here I'll give you is 4x squared plus 3x minus 6 divided by x plus 2. Remember, it's a polynomial divided by a binomial. You go through long division. What if it was a polynomial divided by a monomial? You do what you did in lesson 7-7. How many of you are listening to what I'm saying? Okay, not very many, all right? The answer is, okay. Oh, now they're listening. Okay, go ahead. Selective hearing, we call it. Sorry? Let's divide it. Let's do it. Sorry, DMSB. Oh, man. That's okay. It's all right. We'll go through it together. Doing okay there?
Yes.
The thing how with the other ones have like the plus 2 that might.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah, so you just switch all the signs, I guess, right? Okay, who can write it? Who can write it to get it started? I just want to start it. I'm going to get this problem. Yeah, how do I just put it in? Yeah, Sophie?
So the big number would be inside the box.
You're right, but say it to me more correctly.
The first number.
The first number. Because it doesn't matter whether it's bigger or smaller, it's the first number. And you're like, but this is a trinomial, so it should be longer, right? But the value could be smaller technically. Okay, and then the binomial goes outside, which is the divisor. All right. Jake, what do I do first?
You divide 4x with the second by x.
Good. And what do you get, class? 4x. Parker, what's your next step?
You take 4x and multiply it by x plus 2. You get 4x2 plus 8x.
There you go. Elizabeth, what's your next step?
Okay, you subtract.
Molly, what's 4x squared minus 4x squared?
It cancels out.
What's, say, Molly, 3x minus 8x?
Negative.
All right, next step, Annie.
You bring down the negative 6.
Next step, Laura.
You divide.
Josh, what does she divide? Or what do we divide, I guess?
Is it negative 12?
Sorry, what do you divide? So what two numbers should I divide?
Yeah, I kind of got lost right there.
That's okay. Negative 5x by x. Which is what, class? Negative 5. Cole, what do I do next? What do I get?
Negative 5x.
Okay, and then the next one. So, okay, good. Negative 5x minus 10. Josie, what do I do with those two?
Subtract.
Subtract. Being so careful, class, what do you get?
4.
Cancel?
4.
4. Because you did negative 6 plus 10. If you did state change opposite. What's my remainder, Sarah?
It is plus 4 over x plus 2. Oh, you have to add it plus 9.
Yeah. Don't just put -5 and then next to it 4x. Yeah, it'd be multiplying. So there's got to be a sign, plus or negative. Plus or minus sign. A lot of times it's plus, but sometimes it can be negative. Okay, how many of you got that? All right, good. I wish that was it. You're doing so well so far. And even if you messed up, it's only the 4th time you've done it, maybe. I think it's 5th time you've done it. 6th, I don't know. What? Remember I said you're not going to get a binomial divided by a binomial asterisk. Isn't that a binomial divided by a binomial?
Then it'll be a mono. Wait.
No. It's not as easy as it looks. All right. Which? Sorry? So that's you got to think of that. Don't write down what I'm going to write down, but don't go too far in this. Just write the problem right here. Write this down. This next thing I write, wait. Which number goes in the box? The first one. So don't write this, please. Mr. A, how do you want us to write this? Don't write this. Isn't this how it should go?
Yeah.
There's only one problem. There are missing place value holders. Okay, this number right here, if I had, going back to this numerical long division, if I had this problem, what number do I really mean right here? There's nothing written there. Sorry? 3. Okay, 300 plus 6, which gives me 306. So most of us do this, right? You put a place value holder here, because if you don't put that 0, what does it possibly look like? 36. And it's not 36, it's 306. This is what you're going to write. You're going to start with the highest term, which is y cubed. So this is what you can start writing. Did you have a y squared term? No. So you add it in there in the form of 0y squared.
So you have to have a square.
Have to.
Okay. And do you add 15 after that?
Close. You're getting there. Do I have a y term? Or y to the first term? So I add one. 0y. Oh, man.
That is messed up.
I know that's wrong. Because I'm not done yet. Then you can put the plus 15. Mr. A, you made it a fairly simple problem to a not so simple
What's
problem.
the point of that?
Yeah.
Uninstalling math.
Uninstalling weird math.
I don't know yet, but let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, just pretend this was the problem. Can you just pretend? And then I'll show you that if you didn't have these, we'd have a little bit of a problem. We'd have a little bit of a problem. Okay, ready? So somebody tell me what to do first. Just pretend this is a problem.
Divide y, that one.
Y cubed by y. And what do you get?
Y to the second.
Y to the second. Isn't that right here? But remember, the original problem didn't have it, so where would I have written it?
In the middle.
Over the y cubed or over the 15? Don't have a spot, so I'd have to squeeze it in there somewhere. But then I have another problem coming up. I don't have any room to work. It's simply a place value holder. You don't just put 3 and then 6 and leave a blank. You put 306. You do that. We do that. Okay, let's keep working. Maybe you'll see what's going on. All right, second step is to multiply. What's y squared times y? Y cubed. What's y squared times negative 5? Okay, if you didn't have this 0y squared, where would you have put that? The answer is I don't know. I don't know where you'd put it. You'd have to squeeze it somewhere in there and mess it all up.
But how do you subtract?
That's a great question. Subtract is next step, right? Okay, what's y cubed minus y cubed? Okay, ready? What's 0 minus negative 5? Positive 5y squared. Not negative 5y squared. Because what's 0 minus negative 5? 0 plus 5. Yes. That's your subtraction step. Where's your bringing down? What do you bring down?
0y.
Plus 0y. What? There was no 0y in there. Watch what happens. Watch what happens if I didn't have that 0y. What do I divide? Going back to the beginning. 5y squared divided by y is 5y. Where would I put that if there was no 0y? I don't know. We'd have to find somewhere to put it. Place value holders make it easy for us to work with it. Could you do it without it? Nope, you couldn't. Because that's how the algorithm works, which is nice. Multiplication, what's 5y times y? Good, 5y to the second. What's 5y times negative 5? Negative 25y. What do you do with those two? Subtract. Be careful. 5y squared minus 5y squared is canceled. But then what's 0 minus negative 25? 25y. Bring down the... We brought down. Where do we go back now? Man, this is a long division problem. Sorry? That's what the lesson's called? 25 divided by y. 25 times y. And here I'm going to do something because I don't have space. You hopefully will. I had 25y plus 15. Okay, sorry, what's 25 times y? 25y. What's 25 times negative 5? Negative 125. What do you do with these two? Subtract. What's 25y minus 25? Canceled. What's 15 minus negative 125?
Negative 1.
140. Sorry, I would write it down there. What's your remainder?
140 over y minus.
Yeah, what's 15 plus 125?
140.
There you go, 140.
I thought you were supposed to subtract because you have...
What's 15 minus negative 15 plus 125? Yes, ma'am.
So Cindy and I both got
Awesome. Oh, wait, I didn't hear the answer. Go ahead.
negative 25. But because,
Oh, negative 25 here?
yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell me what I did wrong?
Did you do 0 minus negative 25?
Wait, it says I did. I had 0. I had 25 negative. Wait.
0.
I don't know. Wait, hold on.
They're thinking out loud. Sorry.
I had it right first. No.
Oh, the fighting here. Hey, girls, your friends. Your friends, don't do that. It's not worth it. Your turn. You're capable. This is the hardest problem out of them all. Begin. Actually, time out.
Sure, you just gave.
Look on page 193. And this one's number 6. Number 6. On try these. All the way down there. Try these. Yeah, do that one. I gave you too much. I'm sorry.
Remember what?
That's what it was. But you just added a placeholder in there, so it looks longer.
It looks longer. So it is long. And what's wrong with the way they wrote it? Not in standard form. What did I always say about those? Write them in standard form. Just be careful. Yes. Okay, I'm just gonna write it with you guys, at least to get you started. Okay, which of those should go in the box? The first one. Is the first one written properly? No. So out of those three terms in the first polynomial, which one should come first out of those? Negative 4b cubed. Do they have a v squared term? No. So you have to add it in there in the form of positive 0v squared. You add it in there. What should come next? Plus v. And what should come last? Minus 5. So if you can write it down, you're on a good path. Are you guys okay over there? Because I can give you more. Yeah, just quiet down because I'm trying to help you. See, you're going to get this problem, you're not going to know what to do. What did he come up with, Jack?
I came up with it's 2v, or negative 2v, and then it's 3. I feel like I got the answer wrong.
Okay, you need to write the dividend right here in this format, and then the divisor was 3 minus 2v. Is that standard form? No, it should be negative 2v plus 3. That's your problem. That's what you're dealing with. And the negative signs mean something. It's not just like, I guess everything just changes signs. Well, in one sense, yeah, but still divide it out, multiply it out, subtract it out, bring it down out. Stretch.
Oh, hates you.
I don't know what happened, but anyway. If you get it, oh bummer! I wanted someone to write it for me. Okay, hey, listen. Don't do this, but watch. We'll finish this. I'll have you do this tomorrow. Ready? What's negative 4v cubed divided by negative 2v?
2v cubed, or 2v squared.
Positive 2v squared. Then you keep it. You get practice tomorrow. Goodbye.